Thanks a lot. So, just to check the hardware, that works, hopefully. Dobar dan, poštovanje. Hello from my side. I'm really excited to be here today in Zagreb, in the beautiful city of Zagreb. Actually, the capital of my home country. But don't force me to speak to you in Croatian, at least not for business reasons. That might be difficult for me. But if you want to speak later on about sports, soccer, basketball, whatever, this is what I can manage in Croatian. But today I will do that in English. So the story that I'm going to talk about is our story with Siemens and our journey of transforming the everyday analytics. And the target of the session for me is that you, at the end of this session, get some insights about how we have transformed a legacy company into a data-driven powerhouse. And in order to do that, I will start with an X. So you might question what this X about, and it's actually very simple. It combines the data strategy with innovative products and seamless integration of real with digital world. And I will come to that a little bit later once again. But before that, let me introduce myself, even though the moderator did that already, but as said, my name is David, or David, as you like. Since 20 years, I'm in the IT and financial services industry. I'm currently the CIO of Siemens Financial Services, which is part of Siemens Group. With that, I'm also part of the Siemens Group IT board. I love to work in companies like Siemens that have a positive impact on societies and economies. I love to work in international teams because this is where you can learn the most. I have passion about technology and data. And as said, I live in Munich, but my origins are here in Croatia, 40 kilometers away from Zagreb, in the heart of Hrvatsko Zagorje. What I'm going to talk about, I'm going to give you a brief glimpse how we as Siemens are transforming the everyday. And in order to transform the everyday, obviously, we need data and AI. Therefore, I'm going to talk about this one. Then we will have a closer look to some use cases. And last but not least, I will show you what is driving us and what is coming next. So, transforming the everyday. So, you know, Siemens is not a young company. We are already in the market since 175 years. We were driving the second and the third industrial revolution with electrification and automation. And even more importantly, we are one of the drivers of the fourth industrial revolution. Obviously, this is everything about digitalization. This is basically where we try to combine the real and the digital world in order to have a positive impact on the economies and societies. In order to push the digitalization, you need data, right? Data is the backbone of the digitalization. And how I mean this, let me try to explain on a small example. So we are, for example, in the area of industries, of factories. And if you look at the factory, every factory has a lot of machines, right? And within these machines, there are a lot of IoT devices, hardware, sensors that are collecting data. So they're measuring heatings, they're measuring coolings, they're measuring vibration. So a lot of data, right? And if you look at how much data they produce, it's around, in average, 2,000 terabytes of data each month. So now that's just a figure, right? The question is, how much is 2,000 terabytes of data? And to make that a little bit more tangible, you could put that, you can compare this with Netflix. So 500,000 Netflix movies would be 2,000 terabytes of data, right? Quite a lot. So every month, a factory is generating 2,000 terabytes of data. And what we do with those data, we build out of reality digital twins. So we're having a digital twin of a factory, we have a digital twin of a product, like a car, like a medical device, and so on and so forth. And what you do with those digital twins, you can basically simulate as a client at the end, how do you more with less? How do you become more efficient? How it's easier for you to become more sustainable, which is one of our biggest problems looking at the current society. And this is where you see basically why data is so important and why data is at the end for us the backbone of the digitalization. The person here on the slide, that's actually my boss, or to be more precise, that's the boss of my boss, Dr. Roland Busch, President and the CEO of Siemens. And if you read his statement, then you will see that digitalization for us is not only a buzzword. It's really the backbone of the transformation of our industries and economies in order to have a positive impact, in order to be more efficient, in order to be more sustainable, right? And what we try to do as Siemens, we try to help our clients in the area of industry, in the area of healthcare, mobility, to be more efficient and to be able to do more with less. Which brings me at the core of our strategy and back to the X. So X stands for the Siemens Accelerator, which is a digital platform that we have put in place back in 2022 in order to help the clients to drive the digitalization of their business. It consists basically of three key elements. Number one, it's a portfolio of software and IoT hardware-based products. Number two, it's an ecosystem where we are inviting certified partners to enlarge the overall portfolio that we are offering in order to be better in solving the problems of our society. And last but not least, it's a marketplace that enables educations, discussions, explorations between the different market players and partners. One of the products and one of the services that we're offering via the accelerator is exactly what I was talking about already before. It's the digital twin. So that's the digital twin, and this is where I'm coming back to the example of Netflix, right? So what we do, we collect a lot of data from, be it in a factory, be it of a product, and translate something which you have real in the world into a digital world, so that you're able to simulate a factory, that you're able to simulate a product like a car, like a plane, like a train, whatever you can imagine in a digital world, in order to find out how you can save raw materials. So if you have a factory, basically you're trying to be more efficient, you're trying to save materials. We have the scarcity of resources. This is one topic that you can win with the help of the digital twin. Obviously, you can simulate how can you have a production where you can lower the CO2 emissions. You can simulate basically how your product, the product life of your product, in order to see which of the parts of the products can be reused and which of the parts of the product can be recycled in order to help you as a company to reach your sustainability goals. The same goes with less energy, less waste, and reduction of water consumption. The result of a digital twin is at the end very simple. How to do more with less. So you can save with the digital twin carbon, CO2 emissions. We believe and we know that we save a lot, our clients are saving a lot of energy and that they're saving a lot of materials. And that shows at the end the power of data when we are talking about digitalization. So far I was talking very much about the why, right? Why do we need digitalization? Why do we need data? And I would like to go now and talk a little bit more about the how and the what. And then if you come to the how and the what, the slide that you see here, it's the strategy, the Siemens IT strategy. And what you will see here in the heart of the strategy, it's data and AI. And coming back to the Netflix example, I have been saying how much data a factory is creating. And obviously, you need to find a way, you need to have a strategy in order to make this data accessible. And we are there as the IT function within Siemens in order to provide the infrastructure, in order to provide a state-of-the-art architecture that data scientists, the data engineers, and the like need in order not to get an access to the data, it's more to ensure that the data work for them. And that's the reason why data and AI is in the heart of the overall IT strategy of Siemens. I was talking about the data that needs to be accessed, so we are calling that addressability of the data, which we know that it's steadily increasing. But just a question to the audience, what do you mean? If you look at the Siemens ecosystem, how much data are we talking about? We are a company of 300,000 people, roughly, in 200 countries. It's more than megabytes. Any idea? No? So we're talking about more than 200 petabytes of data. So really a lot, right? Really a lot. And if you look at the pyramid, right, we are currently exploring the top of the iceberg, and we need to find out how we are going to access and manage the rest of the pyramid. But I think we are on a good way. Let me show you the journey. So we have started our data journey at Siemens, I mean, not only in 2013, already before, but in 2030 is where we have decided to have one, call it repository of all data. And we decided back then to go with the SAP HANA data lake that we have put in place 2013. And we have connected roughly 75 ERP systems, CRM systems, you name it. And in the next couple of years, we have developed more than 500 projects in the area of data analytics, projects in the area of AI, and so on and so forth. And in 2021, we asked ourselves, is that good enough? What is next, right? We were monitoring the market developments, so like which new technologies are there on the market that could help us. And obviously, we were learning that with help of cloud, there's a huge possibility for scalability, there's a huge possibility for flexibility, and that there is almost unlimited computational power. And this is basically where we have decided to build our Siemens Data Cloud around Snowflake, which we have put in place by end of 2022. Since 2023, we have started to migrate all of the data that we have within Siemens into one global Siemens Data Cloud. It was a project of a little bit more than 1 year. This May, we had a small party because we just finished the migration. And now we're just in the process of decommissioning the boring technology. But obviously, if you look at such a migration, it was a huge challenge for us. I mean, we were talking about an old system with 45 terabytes of in-memory cluster, with more than 750 projects, used by 85,000 people worldwide, with more than 45,000 tables and trillion of records that you need to manage in such an architecture. If you look at the picture here on the right-hand side, and you can read also something about 5,400 dependencies. The picture here on the right-hand side shows you the dependency only of one single project, right? And then that visualizes a little bit the complexity of the overall migration and then transformation from an on-premise solution that we had into a cloud solution in order to leverage on all the advantages that a cloud solution offers. The overall decision to go into the cloud for a company like Siemens, like our decision ways are sometimes a little bit long and longer than you would find in some some thin startups and tech companies. But what was important for us when we looked at the new technology was not only to make just a project, right, just a replacement of a legacy. It was important for us that we are having a project that is delivering additional growth. So it was important for us that we are shaping the overall initiative in the way that we can ensure with the new technology, with the new technological capabilities like AI, that we are able to generate new revenue streams, or that we are able to, that we win additional productivity. Everything at Siemens is driven by a strong business case. We have a very strong CFO community, and this is what we had to prove. One of the challenges that we had was obviously synchronization of the data between the origin systems and the new Siemens Data Cloud. As you have seen on the slide before, we were talking about 45,000 different tables that had to be synchronized. We managed to change that from more a batch-driven process to a real-time synchronization across all the applications that we have worldwide, with some small exceptions. And last but not least, we had to certify all the data analysts, all the people working on analytics use cases in order to, and have incorporated or have made sure that there are different analytics tools like Power BI, Tableau, Q-Link, seamlessly integrated that they can leverage on data as much as possible. The overall code that we have reached at the end, this is what you can see on this slide. So we managed to connect more than 100 data sources at the end. We have now roughly 1,000 projects. So the number of projects was steadily growing due to the new technological possibilities. Not only because of that, what we have ensured as well, which is a challenge also if you look at cloud, is basically how to ensure security of your data. And if you look at Siemens, we have 3 levels. We have number 1, number 2, number 3. 3 is top secret. And the security level that we have reached for the Siemens Data Cloud is at level 3. So by this, we have made the solution attractive for everybody in the company. We have roughly 700 terabytes of data. And this is basically, if you look back to the pyramid that I had, it's still not a lot. So, but we are ready due to the cloud solution and the scalability that you can have with a cloud platform to get more. And last but not least, that's a quite important topic. We are talking about the data governance, right? And in a company like Siemens with 300,000 employees, what you can't have a centralized data governance. So you need to find a way how to manage a governance that is accepted by the entire company and that ensures the quality of the data. And this is where we have decided to go for data governance based on the data mesh concept. We have established 16 data domains. We have the mindset of having data products, that product owners are responsible for the quality of their data with dedicated criteria that every data product must have, right? We offer a self-serve data infrastructure because really we believe in the citizen approach, because only by having a citizen approach you can accelerate on the overall digitalization, you can accelerate on gathering useful information from data, and all that is supported by federated computational governance. My last picture about the architecture, it's a very simplified one, but it's an interesting one, just that you see a little bit how many people, how many employees are using the platform that we have put in place. So if you look at the left upper corner of the slide, there are roughly 70,000 people, data analysts, producing dashboards, reports. We have roughly 10,000 developers that are developing applications for our customers, but also internal applications, and are getting data from the Siemens Data Cloud via APIs and streaming services. And we are very much proud about the new feature that we put in place, the AI tech. It's kind of a dream for our data scientists. We have roughly 20,000 that are able to leverage on the data that we are having in a Siemens Data Cloud, and by this help us solving problems of our societies, of our economies, and our clients. So that was the architecture. Now let me come to some of the use cases that we are having and that we are able to leverage based on the data. And the very first one, I love this very much, even though everybody tells me that's very simple, everybody has that, right? And that's true. But it still helps the company very, very much. So I'm talking about a KPI forecast tool, which you can use in every function of a company, right? You need forecasts in sales. They need to know how the revenues are developing. You need a forecast in the production, right? They need to have in control of their supply chain. You need to have a focus in the performance controlling. They want to see the development of the P&L. You need a focus in the financial services area. You want to focus your risks. And the tool that we have put in place there is a tool which is built in the way that it's quite modular, so it can be easily adapted to the needs of the different functions. And it uses AI in order to do exactly what you can see here on the right hand of the slide. It predicts, based on the data and based on AI, what might be the development of your forecast in the future. What we have won with this tool, we have saved a lot of time. So creating forecast is a quite time-consuming exercise. And we have won a lot of accuracy in the focus that the people are providing. The second example that I have is the so-called iBase. And I was talking about Siemens, huge company, 300,000 people acting in 200 countries worldwide, having global clients. Our clients are also very often global, so the client might be based here in Croatia, he might be based in Germany, he might be based in US. And obviously what we're trying to do with them, we are trying to help them, we're trying to sell them products, we are installing products. And then we have people that are closely working with the clients and would like to know, depending on the persona who you are, they would like to have information. If you go to a service engineer, he would like to know, which parts did we sold to this customer, which software did we install at the customer in Dubai, right? The service coordinator will ask himself, okay, who is the best person that can help customer if she has an issue with our products? The key account wants to know which products have you sold already to the customer. The salesperson would like to know basically what is the next action that I can do in order to be able to offer something attractive to our customer. And this is where we have built the iBase, which is a 360-degree view of the customer based on all the data that we have in a Siemens Data Cloud, right? So on the one hand side, you have an input from different systems, be it factory data from the customers where we have the permission to get the data, be it configuration data, be it commercial data, and so on and so forth. Also machine data generated by machines. If you look at the IoT connector data box, then you have the Siemens Data Cloud in the middle, and then on the right-hand side, you have all the people that you have seen on the slide before that would like to have information, reliable information. They should be real-time, they should be fast, they should be accurate, and they should be presented in the way they need it. And that's one of the successes that we have managed to, or one of the problems that we had that we managed to solve with this tool called iBase. From the examples, what we have already put in place, to the question, what is driving us, and perhaps what is coming next. And one of the tools, and I think every conference, and especially every conference which is dealing with data and AI is talking, I would assume, about Gen AI. So we are also working on Gen AI. And we all know that there is some value generated by Gen AI, even though I think a lot of us in the markets are still looking for the one that will completely disrupt the market. But we are also working on Gen AI, as I said. And currently we see three problems with the Gen AI tools. that are there on the market. First one, if you have a company with 300,000 employees, buying a tool for 300,000 people and paying the license cost, it's a lot of money, right? It's a lot of money where, I mean, you need to measure the value add of the tool in order to save the money, which I hope most of you will agree is not that easy. I mean, we see advantages, but then if you need to make it tangible, it's more difficult. Second topic is, if you look at the Gen AI tools, and if you want to get the most out of it, you need to make sure that you don't have an access only on the publicly available data. You want also that you use your own data that you have in the company. And you were seeing in the slides before, we are having in the Siemens Data Cloud 700 terabytes of data already. Increase or growing every day. And the third topic, which is quite important for us, is the security part. So how do you make sure if you if you have your prompts and you input data into the Gen AI, how do you make sure that this data remains protective, especially if you are using Gen AI for confidential projects, confidential papers, and the like. So in order to solve those three issues, we decided to build our Siemens GPT that we are going to roll out most likely this autumn. We're in a good way there. And this one will exactly solve the three topics that we have said. It will be available to everybody at Siemens. And one of the topics that we want to solve is basically, there's one saying about Siemens, which is, if Siemens would knew what Siemens knows. And this is what we're trying to solve with that. So we are trying to be more efficient about our knowledge. We are trying to be more efficient in regards of our collaboration, how we are working together. We're trying to be obviously as well faster. And that's the reason why we are rolling that out to the entire company. And we see there also some flexibility to adapt it to the needs of the different functions in the company in the way they need it. The last almost 30 minutes, I was talking very much about digitalization. I was talking very much about digital twins. I was talking about data, which is needed in order to have the digital twin. Data as a backbone of the digitalization. But all of that would not be possible without people, right? In order to push the digitalization, in order to work with data, in order to work with AI, you need to have the right people with right skills and with the right mindset and the right culture. And if you look at the core strategic pillars of Siemens, you will find 4. First one, we want to generate customer impact. Second one, we want to deliver technology with purpose. Number 3, we want to empower our people to deliver the best solutions for our customers that we can deliver. And the 4th one, we are looking for a growth mindset. We are pushing, we are sponsoring a growth mindset. This is what is important for us. So out of 4 strategic pillars that we have a company, 2 are about our people. So this is really essential for us. And that's the reason why we are putting so much investments into the upskilling of the people. Yes, we are looking for new people, we are looking for new interesting characters, but also we take care of our people, we take care that they can follow the technological development in the market, and we are offering them a vast spectrum of trainings. And you will see here on the right-hand side at least one that we have in the area of the IT. It's called Growth at IT. So it's a training that we have put in place for 6,000 people in roughly 60 countries. It's there since 4 years. Since 4 years, we had already 13,000 people, exactly 13,000 people that took this opportunity. And in addition, and this is what I love very much because I'm also one of the sponsors there, it's the CITEX. CITEX stands for Siemens Innovation and Technology Exchange. So what we're doing there, every year we are putting together a group of people, different talents, with different skills, with different backgrounds, from different industries, and we ask them to work and to solve a client problem. The initiative takes roughly 10 months. So at the beginning, they got introduced the problem, and then they need to solve it. And during the journey that they are taking, they're learning the client, so they know what is the problem of the client. They understand the way how the client thinks. They start understanding the markets. They understand the technology. They know how to generate value out of the technology, value for the customer and the markets. And at the end, they present a solution to the customer which really solves their problems. And therefore, we see also those initiatives like CITEX as an important one for developing the skills of our people. Beside the hard skills of the people, we are very much discussing about our culture. Just to take one of the examples, if I look at Siemens Financial Services, but this is the same for the entire Siemens, we have a strong initiative in terms of DEI. We foster diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is really important for us. I have been saying we are acting in 200 countries worldwide. Diversity makes us stronger. And we believe that this is one of the key success factors that we are already in the market since 175 years, and we believe we will remain there even longer. My last slide brings me back to the overall strategy of Siemens. So I've been saying at the very beginning, Siemens' role is to help customers to embrace the digital transformation. We are doing that especially in the area of industry, infrastructure, mobility, and healthcare. We believe that data is the overall lever for digitalization. With help of data, you can build digital twins. With help of digital twins, you can save material. You can reach your sustainability goals. You can save energy, right? You can improve your network capacity and healthcare. Therefore, think about the Netflix example. Think about the amount of data we are having. It's really on us to make sure that the data are not only there. It's really on us to make sure that the data work for us. We are there to help, as IT, all data scientists to have the right infrastructure, to have the right tools in place in order to be able to do that. Therefore, if you are in the IT, I believe we are transforming the everyday, every day. Thanks a lot for listening, and I hope you can take some insights of the Siemens story with you. Enjoy the rest of the conference. I don't know, are there some questions? There is one over there. Can you just use the mic?
Hi, so I'm from a pharmaceutical company from Tema, which is also 40,000 people. What I would like to ask for the data governance part, do you have some kind of federated data governance central team? How do you combine this with this data mesh and 16 domains concept?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question, and I would say we are still on the learning path to some degree, right? I mean, it's a data mesh. It's not that old concept. I think a lot of companies that are trying that out. So what we have put in place, we are saying we have a very strong governance about, you know, like the infrastructure as such. So this is quite strong one. What we have put in place as well, it's a data governance tool. There are also very strict rules. But then where we are becoming more federated is when it comes to the domains. So you can't have a centralized governance for every function that you have in your company. And also you can't put in place a data governance which is following the organizational chart of the company. You must more follow the functions of the company, because you could reorganize the company, then you can do everything from scratch again. So what we have done, we have defined 16 important functions, be it sales, be it productions, be it performance controlling, and so on and so forth. And there we have decentralized responsibilities, right? Every domain has a dedicated responsible for the domain. And within domain, you have the data products. And the data product is completely decentralized. The only thing that they need to follow is the rules of the game, right? For every data product, there's a clear criteria what you need to fulfill in order to become a real data product. Because only by this you can ensure the overall quality of the data that you have in the Siemens, in our case, in the Siemens Data Cloud.
Thanks a lot. Really clear. Thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions? There's one over there.
Hi, very nice talk. So in your slide, you showed that you have like 100 and something petabytes of data coming from the factories that you're still trying to address and access. What would be the main challenge here in accessing? Is it the technological, sociological, or any other?
Good question. Actually, from a technological point of view, that's not that difficult anymore, right? You have hardware, you have IoT devices, you can get the data to the edge and from the edge to the cloud, so that is manageable. There are two other topics. First one is trust, right? I mean, the factories, we have our own factories to build our own products that we are selling on the market, so that's easier, right? Because we are trusting ourselves. But if you're coming to the customers, they're asking yourself, what are you going to do with the data, right? It's the same thing that we are asking Microsoft. If you have the Microsoft Office 365 suite where all the functionalities and the data are in the cloud. So that's the first challenge, convincing the customers that we are the good one and that we are using data for good purposes. And all the contracts that you need to put in place with all the legals and so on and so forth. The second is more understanding of the data, right? I mean, I can give you one of the examples that we have, where we have now built, it was the Siemens core together with Siemens Financial Services. It's kind of performance financing. So what we're doing, we're basically taking data from the machines in order to measure the usage of the machine, in order to measure the maintenance of the machine. And if the client behaves properly, let's call it like this, right? We can give the client a much better financing conditions. But it took us more than a year to be able to understand the data and translate it to our financial experts in the way that they can calculate some risk KPIs. And that's for me the second, right? There are a lot of data, but it's more the interpretation of data which is challenging. And it's different from industry to industry and from use case to use case.
Thanks.
Welcome.